about this time?
James Russell, you hustling son of a...
It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Then look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go seek, pity pat, red light, green light, red light, green light.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. We talking about practice, man. But we talking about practice right now. We talking about practice.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned into Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
Better late than never. It's all good, though. Jose V, Straight Bet Sports, Gorilla Cross Radio. Wednesday night, Rob G getting his seat ready. Quan 5'9" behind the big board doing what he does for us every single Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this lovely Wednesday evening. The weather got a little bit better. It was windy, a little bit cold earlier, but it's nice outside right now. Rob, what's up, my man? You ready to chop it up tonight? We've got a lot to talk about. It's just me and you, no special guests. Just a good friend in the studio hanging out with us tonight. We're going to get him on camera here shortly as well. But lots to talk about, bro. Not only in the world of soccer, but in the world in general. I know you don't like to get all into the other stuff. That'll be my part. But how you doing, my man? You good? Haven't seen you in a few days.
Running with the cold mic again. I'm running with the cold mic again. I'm back. It's 3 weeks in a row. But who's counting?
Who's counting, right?
Who's counting? No, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, obviously, and what's going on around the world, not just only in sports. So yeah, it's going. I'm excited to be here. It's nice outside. A little breezy.
Right?
A little breezy.
A little breezy.
Yep.
But it's nice. Weather's getting warm again. Time to turn on the AC in the car, in the house, at the job. Some
AC
jobs got a little too cold.
Yeah, I guess,
Some places got a little too cold.
I like that at night. I'm okay with turning it on during the day. It's just I like at night. It's like cold. Or
I'd
not
rather
cold,
have my
but
blankets at night. I don't want to be too cold.
yeah.
But I like being in my blankets and not being hot and sweaty at night. It's too much.
Agreed.
Zach looking like he's all hot and sweaty, like he just
With
got
the
out of the
A-shirt.
gym.
With the A shirt.
Actually, funny story, I did.
Zach, the intern, man, in studio with us. We got to get him some more mic time. Zach, tonight, remember, we need you to chime in with everybody on social media. So people watching and listening, if you want to chime in, we're on Twitter Live. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live. And we're also on Twitch. But you got to look us up by Gorilla Cross Radio because that's the network that we're on every single Wednesday night here, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on all four of those social medias. Look it up through Gorilla Cross Radio, and you will find us there every single Wednesday night. We are live. Zach is on the Facebook page. We're going to try to get him on the Twitter page as well. But he's going to be on the live as well. If you guys have anything you want to say, chime in. Any questions that Rob and I can't get to or we can't see because we're just battling out, talking, going at it, talking about sports or whatever it may be tonight. Zach will go ahead and chime in and let us know what it is you guys want to talk about. We also have a guest in studio tonight. Like I said, he's more of a very good friend of ours. If you see the hat and you know me in general and you see my pictures, you see my clothes and the shirts that I wear, Free Your Soul brand owner and CEO, I'm going to call it, because that's basically what he is. Jaime Flores in the building. He's going to be chopping it up with us as well. Good, man. I'm glad you're here. I finally got my shirts.
Bro.
I'm very happy.
I like that hat, though.
Bro,
That's pretty
I'm
fresh.
telling you, bro, the hat, Free Your Soul, you cannot go wrong. Just
There you go.
real
Is it
quick.
snapback or is it fitted?
It's snapback, but you know
It's a
what? I
snapback.
like fitteds, but the snapback has been working for me lately, so I can't complain about it. But I appreciate you, my man. We're definitely going to chop it up with you here shortly. Get your thoughts on things going on in the world, because I know you probably got something to say as well.
Yeah.
Let people know about your brand. We're going to get into that as well, man. Very inexpensive. Help a local brother out as well. Help a local business out. Trust me, the quality is great. The clothes is amazing. I wear it. I stand by it. We'll talk about that here shortly as well. But before we do all of that, before we get into everything going on in the world and in the world of sports, we got to thank our sponsor, Joshua LaFon. Quan, please let everybody know what's up with that.
Give us.
We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their homeownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533. So Rob, I actually have to call out Josh because a couple weeks ago we met up in the morning for some coffee, chopped it up about the show, about the future of the show and what's going to happen and what we're going to do moving forward, right?
Why wasn't I invited?
We'll talk about that later. But you know how we keep saying we got to get him on the show? He hasn't came on the show. So he said he wants to come on the week of the draft.
All right.
Next week is the day before the NFL draft. Not only that, we're supposed to have Dwayne Colucci on, our good friend from Rampart Racing Sportsbook. So we're going to have a great show next week. Hopefully we get an extra half hour on there.
Right? We need that half hour.
We got to talk to Quan about that, but I don't think that should be a problem. Sponsors are there. We got it set up. Show's going great. So thank you, Josh, for hanging with us and doing your thing, man. We greatly appreciate you. But yes, let's go Dodgers. I'm not a Dodger fan, Brian, but we see you chiming in on Facebook. But Rob, before we get into sports, before we get into anything, obviously yesterday was a big day for not only the U.S. but the world in general, right? If you think about it, with the finally being guilty with Derek Chauvin, the cop that killed George Floyd, and so on and so forth. Finally, the verdict came in. You know what I mean? I'm not shocked at what happened, but leading up to it, I don't know about you, but in 1992, LA, Rodney King riots, I grew up in South Central LA. I had a conversation with someone at work the other day. My mom took me out there to a market, and we weren't in the stores. Let me get this clear. I don't want people to think I was looting or anything like that. It's not a joke. We were out there to see what was going on. We were going places, seeing things, driving around. I remember seeing some crazy stuff over what happened in that. And all I could think about is, if this dude does not get found guilty, are we going to see this again? And if so, how bad is it going to be, right? Like that's all that kept going through my head. Granted, I'm sitting there. If you want to call it history, history was made because finally the right thing was done. You know what I mean? Without hesitation, without waiting. If you saw the trial, the dude's old boss, his police chief, came out 100% against him. You know what I mean? Stating facts, showing that he was wrong and the things that he didn't do and that he should have done. So I'm happy with the verdict. Some people can now take a step back, a deep breath, and basically say, okay, this is the first step. It's far from over, though. It's far from over. There's still a lot more that's going to happen that needs to get fixed. Obviously, we know that as human beings. Some people probably don't want to hear it. If you're watching the show and you're not about politics and you're not about the truth and you're not about what's going on in the world, then I'm sorry. But sometimes we're going to derail a bit from the sports action and from the sports scene and from the sports talk and talk about what is going on in the world. I know Rob probably doesn't have much to chime in on this because, you're not big on that type of conversation. I get it. Not saying that you don't care about that stuff, because you do. But it's crazy. It's crazy that we've come this far, but it's taken this long for it to happen. Now, the same day that the verdict comes out, a girl was shot. You know what I mean? By a police officer as well. So there's still stuff that keeps going on no matter what. Now, at the end of the day, the verdict is in. He's guilty. The next thing is sentencing. We're going to see how long he's going to be in prison. Obviously, he's going to have a chance to get out. We know that it's not going to be life in prison, right? But the next thing is, how does a family react to the actual decision on how long he's going to be in jail? What do they want? What do they see as fair? What is fair? You know what I mean? But I'm happy, bro. I'm glad that this is not over, but this part of it is over, and that the right thing was done. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if you've looked much into it or what your thoughts were when you heard the verdict.
I didn't watch it. So basically, the way it happened for me was I didn't even know the sentencing. It was yesterday, right? Just want to make sure 100%. So yesterday I was at work, and one of my mobile reps walks up and is like, "Hey, they're about to do the verdict, right?" Like everyone was kind of watching it, or keeping track of it on their phone. And to me, I obviously didn't know that it was that day, so I followed it. We all know what kind of happened for the most part. We all kind of watch the YouTube videos to kind of keep up with it. But
daily stuff
during the
going on.
trial and stuff like that, I didn't really kind of keep up with it. I saw that it was, on the top of my feed all the time, so I knew stuff was going on. I knew there was some controversy, with the trial. But for me, I think they obviously got it right. I don't think anyone's arguing that they got it, they got it wrong. I think there's, we're all kind of on the same page when it comes to that. The thing that I want to see is obviously, because me being kind of like the casual follower, right, as you want to say, not totally keeping up with it, is my first question when they told me that the sentencing was going to happen is, yeah, he's going to get found guilty. Like, that's almost a lock, right?
Correct.
But what's the sentencing, right? That's what's really going to determine.
That's what matters.
That's what matters, and that's what's going to determine how far we've made it in this since, for how long that we've been arguing back and forth of what's right, what's wrong, and when is it going when are we all going to be treated equal, and when we're trying to avoid obviously a Rodney King situation.
Correct,
in 92.
exactly, yeah.
So that was my biggest question, is what's the sentencing? I want to know how long he's going to be sentenced for. And they told me what it was, or what the minimum and the maximums were. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think we've come a long way. I think that the sentencing is honestly probably going to be harsh. I hope it's harsh, because if the sentencing is not harsh, I know they're probably all going to run concurrently, right? Because it was like guilty on 5 counts or however many counts. I know they're all going to run concurrently, but that's what scares me, is that if there's a second chance of maybe like some type of riot, if the sentencing is not good enough for people, right? If people don't view it as that's a great punishment, or if he gets the max.
Yeah.
I think everyone was kind of scared to see what would happen if he was to get if the verdict was not guilty. We were all kind of scared, because even some of the people I work with were like, they asked me personally, do we have a protocol in place in
If there's
case
riots or anything?
Right.
Yeah.
Because when that was happening, certain stores were getting shut down. A couple stores got actually looted, or just got demolished. And some of my people were a little worried. We're not one of those stores that's maybe like on the strip or anything like that here in Las Vegas or close to it, but they were worried. Is there something that T-Mobile has put out, in case something does happen after this verdict? And fortunately, we didn't have to get there, but I was a little worried, finding out all at the same time that the verdict was yesterday, and that if he gets found not guilty, something big, who knows what's going to happen, So I think to me as well is that it's all about consistency, right? I talk about that at work all the time. Is all about consistency. So we need to make sure that this is consistent. It's not just like he's the scapegoat in this situation.
And that's it.
We're all good. And I'm
happening.
glad you mentioned that at the end too. You kind of said like, this is the beginning. Is this the beginning of the end, or is this the beginning of is this the beginning of the beginning?
Correct.
Right. So I hope it's a harsh punishment, because that's what he deserves.
Yeah.
And
I don't wish bad upon anyone.
No, of course not.
But if you're gonna get what you deserve, regardless of the fact, you know what I mean.
He's probably going to be put in I don't want to say a kosher situation in prison. Or
They're
in
gonna
jail.
have to take care of him, bro.
I mean, did you see the lady?
right?
The lady that accidentally shot the guy, Reese John Tate.
Accidentally, yeah.
Well, did you see the pictures of her house where there was like concrete barriers around her house?
Really?
So the police or the city got together and they put concrete and fences above, outside her house, because they were afraid that her house was going to get attacked. In that situation, now the one that you're talking about with the lady or the woman getting shot, is that the one that she had a knife in her hand?
Yes, she was waving a knife.
So that's that one to me is a little interesting. I only read part of it, right? I saw it on my feed, of course, and I only read part of it, but it, to me, what I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, that she was swinging on people with a knife.
But she's the one that called the cops for protection.
Let me butt on that one.
Somebody fill me in here, right?
Yeah. So I did see that one too, man. It's nuts, right? So the video that I saw the body cam from the police officer. Shows up, there's a fight going on.
You could talk, Zach. Don't be scared.
I'm just letting you guys talk first.
Yeah, bro.
You're not going to get on camera with that shirt, but you'll get. We'll get you on. We'll get your voice on.
There you go. But yeah, no, and I saw you clearly see where she swings around with a knife, and that's when the police officer fires. Wow. Now, and I see it myself as a double-edged sword. Like, do you use lethal force or do you use a taser and still take the risk that she's gonna take another life? You know what I mean? Like, what was he supposed to do? Like,
and I'm on the same page as that. If like the lady, the other woman that she was swinging at was like, not say pinned up against the car, but she was against the car. She couldn't back up. She couldn't kind of move. She could only move left to right. And from what I see, she's swinging that knife. So, and then they're making a deal over this of that was wrong for them to use lethal force or action and she died, right? She got killed. So I don't want to like stir the pot the wrong way, but in that situation, I'm kind of on the same page as Hyman here, where as Jamie here is that I think that's legal. That's what you should be doing, because
I look at it this way: until more of the facts come out, I can't give my
correct.
Opinion.
You know
and
we're speaking super early,
based off of from what we've heard, seen. Obviously, that's what our opinion is. You know what I mean? But it's hard for me to give my opinion because, and this is gonna be a weird comparison, but have you guys heard of the show The Rookie? It's on ABC.
Yes, I have.
Okay, I've been watching it with my wife. It's about LAPD, it's about rookie cops and this and that, but it's an actual, a series, right?
What is it on?
It's on ABC.
Okay.
And they're basically they're put in situations like that, and they show you in this show because it's like a regular series, right? And they're put in situations where it's like, okay, well, if someone fits a profile, or you pull someone over and they admit they have guns in their car. There was a scene where the lady goes, "Oh well, I have guns in my car," and she's black, right? She goes, "I have guns in my trunk." And the cop is white and his rookie is black. And there's a problem in that show where that other cop is racist. Like, he profiles everyone, right? So during that stop or whatever, he's like, "Nope, we're going to arrest her." And this and that. He goes, "Bro, she admitted to having the guns. She has a clean record, this and that. Yada, yada. Let's let her go. We can keep the guns, confiscate them. She'll go to court." Long story short, right? The cop's like, "Nope, I'm going to arrest her, whatever, blah, blah, blah." Long story short, they arrest her, right? So the cop that was the bad cop, He gave a great point, and it kind of goes back to this, and it kind of gave me that thought. He goes, she admitted to her husband being crazy, that they were going through a divorce, and that she used the spare key to get into his house to take those guns. So she basically admitted to burglary and a felony of carrying guns and driving with them in the car that are not hers, right? Oh, and theft. So those were the 3 felonies that she committed right then and there and admitted to. Granted, she ended up being clean, but like the cop said, all those 3 things were signs. What if she was on her way to go kill her ex-husband? That's why she broke into his house to get his guns. Like, I know there's dirty cops and there's good cops, but it's also hard to look at scenarios without
100%.
having all the facts and knowing exactly
100%.
what it is. And it's easy to profile or look at something, but yet not know what the real truth is behind it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
And then you have to also throw in those in the moment type scenarios, right?
Correct,
When we're
that
talking
too,
about
yes.
this lady with the knife and the cop who, without most of the facts, or maybe most of the facts are up, but we just, kind of they haven't gotten down to us yet. But being in the moment like that, like, you got to give him a shot too. You know what I mean? We're saying let all the facts come about before. Let all the facts come out about the lady who called the cops, who had the knife in her hand. Let's hear her side story. But we also have to wait for the cop. We can't immediately go. And I think we're walking a fine line where, we're always just gonna blame the cops first.
Yeah.
Right. It's blame them first. Let the facts come out, and then we can always go back on what we say about the cops, but we always can't go back on what we say about the victim or about the person who was under suspicion or got arrested or for whatever reason was involved with the cops. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like that we blame the cops first, because in certain scenarios they're going to be right, and I hate that they have to prove themselves over and over again when some of them are good cops and they're trained very well.
It's because of the history of everything that's happened, bro.
Correct.
Think about it. You grew up in California. You grew up in Orange, LA County area, so you know all that. You probably didn't see it as bad as I did because I grew up in a horrible area, but sometimes it's easy to just point that finger at the cop. And again, I have friends that are cops. I respect cops. I have nothing bad to say about cops. There's good and there's bad. Just like in the cell phone business, you got some reps not speaking names, that you're probably like, man, how did this dude get a job here? You know, you probably said that about me when I used to work with you. But you know what I mean? Like it's in every profession. There's that good apple and there's the bad apples, bro. It's just they gotta
It just
find
sucks that one person can ruin it for the entire, ruin it for the entire, police force. I don't want to say the entire police force,
just police in general.
Just for police in general.
The face of a cop.
But if if a suspect / victim, whatever it may be, they can't ruin it for the other ones, the other victims and suspects in the future. Like it's always like it's only a one way. I always say it's only like a one-way street with the cops. Like whereas the victims / suspects have a two-way street because we can go back on. It's okay. On to the next. But with the cops, it's like we're not moving on to the next. We're gonna hold this against you forever, right?
Yeah.
So. I'm interested in the sentencing though. That's what I want to wait. I don't know when it is. Maybe you could fill me in on when it is. But that's really going to be the telltale because he could be found guilty.
The end of it, and I was watching the end of it when he was getting handcuffed, or right before he got handcuffed, and the judge was reading everything. I think sentencing is in the next 6 weeks or something like that.
I don't know.
So basically, he's going to be in jail for like the next month. He was out on bond, and it's funny. I was thinking about it. And I told my wife, I'm like, we're watching this, and I'm like, do you think they're gonna revoke his bond or is he out? Or like I didn't know if he was out or not. I'm like, is he out?
No,
and then right when I said that, the DA goes, yeah, we'd like to basically a motion to revoke his bond, and this and that. The judge right away is like, bond revoked, like nothing, like quick, which is and that's how it should be. There should be no hesitation.
If I were him, Derek is his name, right? Derek. I would probably want to be in custody versus out of custody after that announcement.
But really though.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be on protection.
You're going to be in protection.
I get that.
You're not going to be. You're not going to be with the general pop.
There's still ways for people in prison to get to a cop. Think about it. I've never been in prison, but
something you have to think about too is that those guards that are in that prison
are
also cops. Like they're almost considered cops. So,
but you don't know if some of these cops hate this cop now because of what he's making other good cops look like.
Correct. No. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe there's some of these good cops inside the prison, these POs that are doing their job. That are like, this guy's a piece of garbage. Oh, we're gonna let him get what he deserves. You know what I mean? That can happen.
That's dangerous though to have this big of a case. With cameras and with security systems and the way that things work these days, to have that possibly happen on your watch.
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. But if since he's going to prison,
I think 6 weeks is a good time for the sentencing though, because it kind of lets things blow over a little bit, but kind of lets everyone kind of guilty.
But you know what? I give
settle
credit.
down.
I give credit to people in general because you didn't hear about any problems yesterday.
That's the thing, man. That's what I was going to say to that. Not
because they got what they wanted, right?
Exactly.
I mean, everyone got what they want. Not to say they didn't deserve it.
I get that, but let's be real. There's even been times, and I'm not just saying black people. I'm talking about Hispanics, whites, whoever it may be. Even when you get what you wanted, when you were fighting, some people party to or take it over the top and they riot, they loot, they do crazy things.
Like
I didn't hear
winning a
about that
championship.
yesterday.
Bro, we Mexicans do it all the time, bro. Look at in LA. Look at what happened when the Dodgers won.
Yeah,
man. Like,
but that's what I'm
went
saying.
Crazy.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, I understand it's because they got what they wanted, but it's not just that. It's because it's not just about rioting. It's not just about looting and doing all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And we're all human beings. We're all normal. We all do things. We all act. I get
emotion.
I understand what black people were going through. I will never feel it because I'm not black, but seeing it, living in and growing up in the area that I grew up in and seeing the type of stuff that people go through. And I even thought about it the other day. I'm like, I'm getting out of my car and I have my Laker jersey on and I have tattoos on my arms. If you guys know me personally, I have tattoos on my arms. If I get out of my car and I got a muscle shirt or a jersey or anything, I get looked at quickly. So it does go through my head too. Like, what if I get pulled over one day and some other dude with tattoos on his arms with a Laker jersey just robbed the liquor store or the gas station down the street and I happen to look like that guy. And you see the stuff that's going on right now. It's tough, bro. It's tough and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. I know we've gone a little longer into this conversation than we wanted to, but before
the glasses are gonna be the takeaway. Are we gonna be he wasn't wearing glasses. Sorry.
I know, right? That'll be it. But look, before we get off of this topic, I want to start doing things about going on social media and like tweets and things like that, right? So I actually have two for today. One, I'm not gonna mention the person that tweeted this out because I think it's an ignorant tweet in my opinion. So in 1992, like we said, during the Rodney King riots, there was no social media. There was no way of people to express themselves outside of being outside, correct?
Correct.
Okay. With that being said, With the verdict that was read yesterday, African Americans, black people, whatever you want to call, had the opportunity to rejoice, to feel happy, to speak their mind, to speak freely, whether that's out on the street like some people did, or tweet something, or post something on social media, or on Facebook. Some of us here posted pictures of the screen of the TV of the verdict, right? Because that's what that platform is there for. For certain people, use that to express themselves that way, as where other people express themselves other ways away from social media. So the tweet that I'm about to read, and I'm not going to give the name because that would be giving this individual credit. We all know it's okay to sit this moment out on social media and just let the moment speak for itself, right? Wow. That was the tweet. That is the most ignorant tweet that I think I've ever seen in my life. How are you basically going to tell people, don't go on social media, don't speak your mind, and don't tell people how you feel based off of what just happened? Would you rather people go out and riot and do ridiculous other things, or do it peacefully the way we've been asking for it to be done forever? Or Congress, or the government, or whoever it may have been. But for you to post and tweet something like that is just ignorant. Completely and utterly ignorant. And this person is big in the media out here in Las Vegas. So if you're following me and you're watching my show right now and you know who I'm talking about, that's how I feel. And I think that's the honest to God truth on how I feel. And I'm going to be honest and speak up. With everything that's going on right now, and with the verdict that was read yesterday, and how things are finally taking an inch step forward, your first thought was to tweet something like that? Jeez, I feel sorry for you and for the people that work for you and have to deal with you on a daily, bro. Real talk. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on. Let's get away from this topic.
Definitely.
Thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace. Finally, George Floyd, and to his family. You guys finally get a little bit of calmness and more realistic stuff and some truth and a little bit of closure. Something that you guys deserve. But moving on, Rob. Let's get into some sports now.
Got a little hyped up there, buddy.
Hey, you know, man, when people say things that
I got you, bro.
that just get to me and that just don't make sense to me. Granted, if you guys don't agree with me and you think that tweet was perfect, then by all means, that's your opinion, okay? But that's just how I feel. And I've said it over and over again on this show. Everything I say is how I feel, and it's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to go with it. If you don't like it, don't press the like button. Don't press the share. Don't comment. Don't watch the show. Go somewhere else. And it's just the way it is. I didn't get into this. I didn't start doing sports media to talk my mind and then have people tell me that I'm wrong or I shouldn't be saying that. I know at times I'm wrong. I don't have all the facts. I don't know it all. But that's why I started this, to speak my mind and give my opinions on how certain things are and how I see certain things in sports. I think that's why we all decided to do things 100%. Like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey,
so now this is the thing.
If you're following and you're watching, I appreciate you. And you're still there and you haven't gone away, I appreciate you.
Now, this is the thing, man. If you have, like, this is how I am. If you say, yo, this right here is blue, and I'm like, no, man, that's black. You have your opinion. I have my own opinion. Doesn't mean that we have to be enemies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I actually had a friend that, we were talking about some things, and I asked, he's African American, and I asked about it. And I was like, yo, dude, like, do we know the facts or what's going on? Completely belittled me. Instead of educating me and telling me, I was legit asking because I did not know the answer.
Gotcha.
And I was asking, and I was being real. It's like, yo, dude, like, what's going on with this? And just turned around. It's like, you know what, man? This is my social media. Go on your own and go figure it out on your own. But, we're cool. And then just blocked me. And I was like, yo, like, that's not... What? Like, don't belittle me. Like, educate me. That's why I was asking,
I got you.
And at the end of the day, I was like, well, now I guess I'm SOL. Like, how do I know an answer that I got basically called words that I'm like, okay, I guess I don't know the answer to my question again. So, but back to your topic is people need to have their ideas. And if you don't like your idea, I'm not going to make you my enemy.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we're all people, man. Exactly. We all make mistakes. There's 100%. Not a single person out there that is perfect. We all make mistakes, and we don't like to be held accountable. That's the worst part.
You know what? This is a perfect segue to get into the Free Your Soul brand. If you think about it, free yourself. Like, right, not even trying to be funny. Free yourself, be yourself. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I'm wearing the brand today, and we're trying to talk about being peaceful now and you know, being different and all that. So let's talk about your brand real quick, bro. We're gonna get into soccer. I know, Brian, you want to talk ESL. That's trust me, that's next in line. But real quick, my man, talk about the brand. And not only that, you just brought the 2 shirts in that I purchased.
Yeah, appreciate you for that.
I'll be posting them up on social media, so follow me on all things social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I'm on there, even TikTok, which I got a bad story to tell you guys about TikTok.
TikTok's bad, man. It's a black hole that you can never get out of.
Make you lose your job, and we'll talk about that later.
Oh,
but anyways, talk about your brand, bro. Seriously, talk about how it came about.
100%.
The name as well, how you came about the name, and not only that, where do you come up with the ideas for some of the designs with your clothes?
I got you. No, with me, like I'm a big fan of the American traditional tattoo styles. So I'm a big fan of stuff like that. And free your soul really is just be free yourself, man. Don't hang on to other people's stuff that they talk about you. Like you if you think bad about me, it means nothing to me. Like I'm still gonna leave. I'm still gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm still gonna drive. I'm still gonna live my life. So why am I gonna sit there and be upset over what other people think of me or of my work?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like you've tried my shirts on. I'm not gonna put something out that's harsh or anything. All my shirts are soft. I'm very picky. Same thing with my hats. You know, obviously it's not one of my hats. Shout out to my boys at Limitless Motoring.
Rob wears the shirt every week, by the way. You know what I mean? I like to switch it up, but Rob always represents.
Hey, appreciate
you.
You,
Really can't
brother.
see it on camera, but yeah,
I appreciate you for that. But yeah, man, that's mainly what it came down to. It's just free yourself. Don't shackle yourself to other people's thoughts and ideas, and just be yourself, really. And like I said, all my designs and everything, I'm a huge fan of the American traditional tattoo stuff, so that's really where it comes with pin-ups, all that other stuff, you know, what is it, Sailor Jerry stuff and all that good stuff.
So where did the logo come from?
The logo, it's actually a swallow bird.
Okay.
And it's in a memory to my cousin that she passed away.
Okay.
And she had a tattooed. It's not the exact same one because obviously I don't have a picture of it, but she had a tattooed, and it was one of my favorite things of it is the way she had it set up. It was awesome, and obviously it's big to when it comes down to like the traditional stuff. So
I gotcha. Interesting. So before we get more about your brand, and that's pretty awesome that how it came with your family, and that you have a story behind it. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Zach, we have anybody chiming in? I think Brian has something to say for us.
Yeah, so Brian had a bit to say, so
let's do the last one. We'll take care of the last one. Yeah,
you got it. So Jose V, American Outlaws X Free Your Soul Partnership ?
Hey.
Hey.
So Brian Aleman is he runs the American Outlaws out here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of shows that we've done that he sponsored. They're a soccer organization. They basically back, all youth, sports, anything like that has to do with soccer. They do basically support it and basically help push it out here. So you guys should get in contact, bro. You want to do some partnership with you there.
Send me a message, man. On IG is FYS.brand or clickbait Jamie. It doesn't matter which one. Send me a message, man. We'll definitely link up. So
there you go, Brian. Hit him up, man. Definitely. You're always setting up partnerships. And if you guys want to
100%.
partner with the show, I mean, Jaime's hooked us up with shirts that I've given away before. He's hooked us up with shirts for the show. So it's not always about money. If you have a business and you got some type of brand or product that you want to give out or you want people to know about, hey, hit us up. straightbetsports@outlook.com. We'll definitely
100%.
partner up and do something for sure. Lauren Manis of the Las Vegas Aces, we're gonna have her on the show in a couple weeks, and we're partnering up with another friend of ours. He also does shirts. Don't worry, bro.
No.
But he does all the sports stuff.
No,
He does all the sports stuff. Kevin from Clever Shirts. So that should be fun. We're gonna be letting you guys know more details about that because he wants to do a giveaway with the Aces. So that should be fun as well. But let them know a little more about where they can find your brand, the website, things like that. And it really isn't that pricey, bro. I mean, if we're being honest, $20 for a shirt, which is normally the standard price for one of your shirts, is very, very, very easy to do.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's a shopfys.com. That's my website. Social media is just fys.brand or @fys.brand. Very, very easy to, obviously Free Your Soul is a very long name. So just shopfys.com. Everything is on there, and I believe you get a discount, right, with your code. What is it?
That's right. If you
I forgot about that.
If you use a code Straight Bet, I believe
Boom,
it was.
Straight Bet, you get a discount. So
you get a couple percentages off, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Anything off is awesome. But no, if you guys use that, not only that, it lets Jaime know that the listeners, the watchers, the followers are actually seeing this and they're following and they're going to his shop and they're going to his brand to purchase a clothes. So That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
but is there
that's-
anything else that you got coming for the future? Because right now you got hats, you got the sweaters, you got the t-shirts, and you got some accessories as well, stickers
A
and
little
things
bit,
like
yeah.
that. But look, Zach Malone already put it up on there for you. Look at
Thank
that.
you, Zach.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you.
You got it.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
bro.
See
You got
that?
it.
I like that. Good
No,
stuff,
yeah.
Zach. Zach put it on the Facebook if you guys are watching it, and the code is there as well, so you can get your discount.
Thank you.
Anything new coming up that you
Yes.
haven't it's set up in the for the
So
future?
I did a shirt for Black Friday last year,
Okay.
and a lot of people liked it. I only did a limited amount. Anybody that placed an order on that Friday only
Okay.
got that shirt.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna re-release it.
What shirt
And
was that?
It's the one with the 2 roses
Okay.
and the scripture on the back.
Okay.
So I think I'm
see
still
it
gonna.
too right now. Yeah,
You got it?
I think so. This one.
No, I'll show it to you right now. Yeah, I'll post it right now. But,
C Win chimes in. Discounts
Yeah.
rock.
Look
C
at
Win's
that.
big shout out. C Win's actually at T-Mobile Arena. He went to cover the
I went
Golden
to the
Knights
game.
last
Nice.
night. So big shout out to C Win out there.
Definitely.
Chiming in on the Facebook as well. But yeah, bro, that's awesome,
Yeah,
bro.
that's about it, man. I got a partnership with obviously Limitless Motoring
Okay.
and California Lighting.
Okay.
So that's like you were saying earlier, man. Partnerships are big. It's not always about money,
Correct.
but it's what I do now, man.
Networking, growing the brand.
Yeah.
The money will come eventually. The
Exactly.
finances will get there, but it's about meeting people, getting it out there, stretching it out. Like I met my new neighbors in the new house we got.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with them across the street a couple days ago, and we had a few drinks, and I had the shirt on, the Straight Bet Sports shirt that you
Yeah.
made me. And they're like, "Oh, see what he do work, blah blah blah." So I told them, I told them I do sports media on the side. I have a show. They're like, "Let me guess, Straight Bet Sports," and they point at the shirt. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm a walking billboard. I'm like,
100%.
I take my shirt, I take anything that I have that has it. I'm always carrying it with me. The wife hates it because she's like, "Oh, it's always talking about sports." But you have if
You
you,
have to
have
promote
something,
yourself.
exactly, you're a walking billboard.
If you don't promote
24/7.
yourself, who's gonna promote you?
Every
You know
time
what
I
mean?
see you, you're wearing
Yeah,
your shirt.
100%. Yeah.
You
And,
have
I mean,
to.
this is the first time, obviously, now that I'm partnering with these guys in California Lighting. I'm obviously rocking their gear or their hats, but I'm always rocking my own gear because at the end of the day, if I don't do it, nobody's gonna do it.
Definitely.
So
Well, big ups to Jaime.
appreciate you, man.
Make sure you check out the store. All the information is on Facebook. Thanks to our guy, Zach, the intern. Zach, the stat guy. We're going to get some stats from him here shortly. So do us a favor real quick, Zach. Pull up everything you have on the European Super League collapse, just in case if we need anything. Because we're going to jump into that now, Rob. Brian keeps chiming in on it on Facebook. He's a big soccer guy. So proposed 15-team league, Rob. 13 big names. 12 big names, I'm sorry. With the possibility of 3 coming in with a play-in tournament, right? This is basically trying to say that the UEFA Champions League is obsolete. This is coming from the president that created this Super League. I think it's the dude from Juventus. He basically said that the Champions League is obsolete and that the Super League is basically the wave of the future at this point. The league was announced Sunday. They called it quits on Tuesday. Backlash from fans, government, players. Not only that, from things that I've read, there were threats that if this league went forward, these teams will be kicked out of their leagues. So PSG no longer allowed to play in the French league. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico de Madrid no more allowed to play in the Spanish league. Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man U, Man City no longer allowed to play in the EPL. Players that are on these teams that decide to join the Super League no longer allowed to play with their club selections, countries.
Couldn't he? Yeah. So
I mean, this
the
is
big one for me.
insane.
The big one that was all those obviously on, but the one that I saw was that they can't play in the World Cup, which was huge. So obviously Champions League is out of the question because they're their own Champions League. But yeah, them not being able to play for the World Cup, I think for a lot of I think they're go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off.
No.
Hey, thank you for fact check. What did Brian just fact check this on Facebook, right?
15 permanent, 5 invited, started by the Real Madrid Prez.
There you go. So 20-team league, I'm sorry, started by the Real Madrid president, but it was the Juventus president that called it obsolete as the Champions League. Brian, thank you so much. But Rob, keep going.
Well, I can't forget what I was saying.
I just cut you off.
You just cut me off like that. But
Well, no, with all these,
they can't play in they can't play in the World Cup.
correct.
Right,
That would
and
be tough.
That one's a tough one because the international play is it's separate than club play, right?
Completely.
And because of the club that you play in and they happen to play in the Super League, you don't get to represent your country, especially in the World Cup, especially with it only it's a year away, right? It's next year.
Yeah.
So I think that this whole thing that, I mean, obviously these clubs, like we were talking about before the show started, that these clubs got together and they came to this agreement that, hey, you know, we're going to try to do this, and, you know, we're going to make the announcement, and we're going to kind of see where it goes. But to me personally, I think that they knew that it was going to fail. They knew that there was maybe a 10% chance or a 5% chance, or however low it is, that this was actually going to actually play out, because they were ready, right? You know, UEFA was ready with their comeback. You know, they were like, all right, well, they knew some.
They had a backup plan already.
Well, they knew the rumblings, right? There's no way that this got announced to the world and no one knew about it, right?
Correct.
Other than the clubs that were included in it. So they had their backup plan. They had their rebuttals to it already, and they were pretty harsh, right? And I think they're saying that, you know, the people and the fans, you know, are having this huge, you know, backlash or outlash against this. And I think some of that included is the players, you know, like they didn't really think that it was going to be that big of a punishment for them, you know, joining this league, is that, you know, they can't represent their own, you know, their home country in the World Cup. They can't play in certain, you know, they can't play in the Euros.
Correct.
I mean, which is still, I mean, I guess international still, but they can't play in the Euros, which is huge, you know, and especially in Europe, that's almost bigger than the World Cup, you know, like if not bigger than the World Cup to some countries. So, that, because they actually have a chance, right? They're not playing against the world, they're playing against just Europe. So, it's who is it?
My phone.
So yeah, to me it was. What happened?
Whoops.
Oh, there he goes. Get him on. Got him.
Oh, thank you, Quan. That was perfect. Now,
so yeah, I mean, to wrap it up, I mean, it's awesome to think about it, right? It's awesome to think about.
Sorry,
it's awesome. It's
leave
awesome
it
to think about
that
these
was
teams,
perfect.
because especially because they're, you know, all the fan favorites, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they left one fan favorite other than the French league, right? Because PSG didn't join, right? At least at the beginning.
they were part of it, but they backed out right away.
Yeah, so I think it's better for soccer to stay the way that it is. It was, you know, it is a cool idea, but for them to maybe charge, you know, I think more of it was just an announcement to kind of put stuff on blast. We're still going.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments. I'm just dying over
So
here.
to put UEFA on blast, because I read an article where they said that, you know, the winner of Champions League gets like 120 million euros or whatever, right? But in this league that they were going to create, the winner would make 400 million.
It was
euros.
all about money.
Right. And so, but that just also puts UEFA on blast, or, you know, on notice of how much are you really making, first of all, off of Champions League, if you're only willing to give the winner.
How much are you pocketing?
How much are you pocketing, right? Yeah. Because, and I think that had a lot to do with it, of we're not getting our share for putting on this huge, you know, this is, you know, the Champions League is, you know, in my opinion, the Super Bowl of soccer.
European soccer.
Yeah, of European soccer, right? I can say the
Soccer
Super Bowl
in
of soccer,
general,
right?
yeah.
Because I know MLS is not there just yet. So it's the Super Bowl of soccer. It's just, you know, it's always on, you know, the final's always on a Saturday, or, you know, it's a big weekend.
Correct.
And,
always leading up to it.
Yeah, of course. And so I think that this is just kind of putting UEFA on blast and on notice to let them know, like, hey, this is the possibility, but you also have to get your stuff together and making sure that we're also getting a share, the fair share of what we deserve for putting on, you know, for playing in this league.
So I said I wanted to do the tweet of the day type of thing, or the social media post that I saw today. So I already talked about one.
Here we go.
But I want to
segment.
No. This is not a new segment. I did it last week. I did it last segment number 58, episode number 9. Like, you have that picture that I sent you, Quan? So I saw this today, and actually Brian sent it to us in our Chelsea group. We have a Chelsea group out here in Las Vegas, so we send stuff back and forth. He sent this to our group earlier. I looked into it to make sure it wasn't fake and someone created it. Heineken actually posted this. Don't drink and start a league. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
No,
they actually made that. That's not just.
That's on their Instagram. This is from their Instagram page. It's on their Twitter. Wow. I'm not lying. After Brian sent this to me, I saw this and I said, "Wow, Heineken has no shame whatsoever.
They're
I
like
love it,
They're like the Wendy's of beer.
bro. That
is that a
was
good thing
Tell,
or a
tell me
bad
that
thing?
wasn't awesome.
I thought that was fake when you sent it to me
No, it's
earlier. I thought
awesome.
it was, obviously something just on Twitter or, on Instagram or something like that. But if that's real, that's actually
That's
a good
real.
one. That's a really good one because Heineken's obviously the biggest sponsor for the Champions League. And I think they hit it on the nail. They hit it right on the head. So,
man.
shout out to them for coming up with something super quick and something super smart and
Whoever
making all of us
made that
laugh.
got paid.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I got one. Done. Paid.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Man. Now NBA. I want to get away from soccer.
No.
That was fun. This is gonna be quick. I just want to get your thoughts on something real quick. New York Knicks. This is all I really want to talk about. I don't really want to talk about NBA all the way around. It's just the NBA season obviously has been different, right? Still is not the same. Started with no fans. Now we're getting a little bit. Every arena is allowing more and more as we go. That's all fine and dandy. But no one's really talking about the Knicks, Rob. They're in 4th place in the East, 33-27, 2 games behind Milwaukee for the 3rd spot, right? Not even that far off of the 1 and the 2, which are at 39 wins, which is Brooklyn and Philly.
They're in 5th place in the East.
No, they're in 4th. I'm looking at it right now. They're 33-27. They beat Atlanta tonight.
Oh, I'm on the app and that's not even updated. Wow. Okay.
So, and great game tonight, by the way, beating Atlanta, which Atlanta's been hot as well. Trae Young doing his thing out there as well. But if you look at this Knicks roster, you have Nerlens Noel, I believe top 3, if not number 1 pick, right? You have RJ Barrett, top 3 pick as well. You have Julius Randle, ex top 3 pick with the Lakers as well, right? I mean, if you look at this team, Rob, they have a bunch of young guys, right? That were top 10 draft picks that are no longer the lottery. They're no longer the rookie. They're no longer the guy trying to make the league. Some of the guys have had the injuries. Some of the guys have just been moved around from team to team, right? But now you have a guy like Tom Thibodeau that's running things in New York, at least on the basketball side of it, right on the floor. Upper management has changed completely from before when all the ruckus and all the stuff was going on with New York. If you're a basketball fan or just a fan of sports in general, isn't it good to see the Knicks being relevant again, at least for the NBA, for revenue purposes, for ratings, all of that? Because not only are they relevant, they have a really good team. They can come out and beat the number 1 team in the league at any point in time. That's how good of a team they are, and they're coached great. And then now you're adding some of the fans that are being allowed back into the Garden. I mean, you got to admit, bro, having the Knicks being relevant this year and being as relevant as they are is pretty good.
First of all, any team can beat the number 1 team in the league at any given time or any day. It is good to see them relevant. I think they're I think they're ahead of schedule. Of where they're trying to probably be in a couple years. I don't think they expected to be in this position during this season. But a lot of things have maybe played into their favor, right? The no fans have maybe helped them a little bit.
Correct.
The travel schedule has helped them a little bit. So certain teams, I mean, I don't want to say I didn't expect Atlanta, but look at Atlanta too, right? Like who?
And they started off rough this year. They weren't an above 500 team earlier in the season.
I didn't, look at the Heat. The Heat are in 7th, or
and they were in the finals last year.
Right. So, and then the Celtics in 6th. It's still a little early in my opinion, right? I know it's coming up. Don't worry. I know that, I know everything, it's still going, and we're, we're a little bit past midseason, obviously. Or no, well, we made it to the All-Star. Am I tripping here? Have we made it to the All-Star game?
Who?
Did we go to the All-Star game? I'm sorry. That just shows you how much.
So now we're gonna actually have to put it in a contract that you're part of the show to make sure that there's no errors. If not, you're gonna get fined.
Dude, please, because me, we talk about it all the time with NBA about how it's not.
Welcome to No Bet on any sports show with Jose V and Rob.
That's why you never hear. Yeah, that's why I never bet on NBA, right? I don't follow it. I don't. Well,
remember Frank Greco?
Yep.
So he chimed in. He says, it's been a long run of losing.
Oh, there
so
he
seeing
is.
them play well is awesome. Down with Dolan.
Frank.
He's a Knicks fan. Isn't he from New York?
Yeah.
And he's a Jets fan. I forgot about that.
And I think he's Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees
and
too.
Rob,
man.
the season ends May 16th.
Oh my
season,
God.
so,
Yikes.
Yeah, All-Star game happened a long time ago.
I am way behind. I apologize.
Can you show that shirt? Because I like that shirt, bro. I was looking at your shirt.
1 minute.
Oh, Laker shirt.
It's weird.
I apologize. I apologize. They are having a good, back to the Knicks though, but they are having a good season. I don't see them really doing anything in the playoffs. They may get past the first round, but I think the Sixers and the Nets, once they're fully healthy, and then you got to play the Bucks too. I mean, those three.
So it'd be what 4-5? It'd be 4-5, right? That's how it'd be.
Yeah.
So they'd play Atlanta. That'd be a good matchup.
Yeah,
that'd be a really good.
They can make it past
matchup.
the first round. I don't see them, going to the finals.
Okay. So that's it. That's all I had about NBA. Just want to get your thoughts on the Knicks.
At least I preluded to me not knowing that much about the NBA, right? Because I was like, no, don't talk about the NBA.
That's why I know what to ask you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ask you every single thing.
I'm the one that brought up the All-Star game, and has it happened or not? My bad.
So, Rob, last week I won my bet and you lost yours. Is that correct? Or did we both win?
2 weeks ago, no?
No, we had it last week. We both had 3 wins going into last week.
You won, so you're at 4.
And you lost, right?
And I'm at 3.
Okay. So today, what was our
pushed.
Pick? Was it? I didn't see the final.
Yeah, you pushed. You lucky because when I went to go look at that line again,
I had the Nuggets -1 tonight. Right?
You had the Nuggets -1.
And they won by 1.
Yeah, okay. And I had the
Kings -3.5.
-3.5. They won by 3. So I lost, but you pushed. But we're not playing that type of game.
Correct. So we're both. I'm at 4 wins. You're at 3. Man, they won by 1. You're right.
Yeah.
We got to get on it though, bro. Every week we got to finish this up. And it's gonna last now. We're gonna finish it.
I'm not, I do take vacations from betting. Obviously, we're on Straight Bet Sports, and I love, I sometimes, you hear me, and
take a little hiatus.
I'm so passionate about betting sometimes in certain sports, in certain positions, in certain spots. But, NBA, definitely don't touch it, ever. And then baseball just got started. I'm maybe, getting a little bit warmed up to it, but haven't really jumped in yet with baseball. So I'm still looking forward to, college football, college football and NFL still.
So I have a question for you. Since betting, obviously Straight Bet Sports, that's what we do. Jose V, Rob G, Zach the Intern, Quan 59, live on Gorilla Cross Radio. If you haven't downloaded the app, do so now. Apple iTunes Store, Google Play Store, and if not, GorillaCross.com. We also stream live there, right, Quan? If I got that correct, on GorillaCross.com. So if you guys are on your computer, you're at work, hey, you don't want to use your phone because you don't want to get in trouble. But you got access to the computer, you know where to find us. So I had a question for you. I was thinking about stuff when it comes to betting, like what people ask, right? Or what would bettors ask? Or if someone were to come up to us and, we're not professionals, but we like to bet, what do we think about, right? So I came up with four things, and I want to see if you agree with this. 1, which team or teams offer the most betting value would be 1. How sportsbook lines are set. You also want to know that, so you try to get the behind-the-counter thing like we do with Dwayne as much as we can. Why lines are likely to change. You know what I mean? Someone could get hurt, weather, umpire, ref, whatever it may be. Why some bets aren't worth making. Would you think those 4 things are about right when it comes to the style that you bet? I would say it's the way I would bet. Probably not on everything because I know I do a lot of lottery tickets. You make fun of me. But when I do my real bets, when I do a straight bet or whatever it may be that I'm trying to make some money off of it for real, I would go through those 4 things. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, I like the last one the most, because I say to those people that I talk to and I ask, for their opinion or what do you think about this game, or some people I reach out, because they're so good in a certain sport and they know where to look on Twitter. They know where to look for things, like if a goalie's out or what's, why is this line so, why does this line look like a trap? But some of your best bets are the ones that you don't make, right?
Correct.
Some of the best ones are the ones that some of your best picks,
stay away from.
Are the ones you stay away from. And I know I know we sit there after the fact and we're like, I knew it, I should have done it. But
and you're like, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you literally have to do at that point. You have to know that you're gonna not play some bets, or you're not gonna play some bets that you think are a strong play, for whatever reason. But it is good to stay away sometimes, even if you win, even if that bet hits. It is good to stay away from some bets if you don't feel like you're 100%, invested, or like you feel like you're gonna for sure hit that bet. So it's tough. It's all about discipline. It's all about discipline, right? Because it's super easy to chase, especially with the apps now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just especially with the apps, when you lose a bet and you're just like, well, I need to make up that money now, and I have money on my account. So let me just, what's available, right? You kind of look like you're asking me earlier, are you going to put a play in for the show? And I just like, all right, what's available, right? It's not like I'm making a play where like I've been, keying, looking in. Keying in on this game, and it's just I'm looking at what's available and I'm trying to make a prediction. And typically those bets don't go your way,
Correct.
right? So the chasing factor, almost, by percentage wise, you always lose. You always lose. Yeah, you're gonna hit them. Yeah, you're gonna hit a couple. You're gonna hit 3 or 4 in a row. Don't get me wrong. But then you're always gonna have that. Then you're gonna start thinking like, oh, I'm good at chasing. I'm not saying good at chasing, but I'm good at making up my money. Yeah. And so I feel like that's not definitely the way to go.
So we got 5 minutes.
Yep.
So within 1 minute, I want you to give me your opinion. I'm gonna give you mine, and then you can follow from it so you can know the topic. Jake Paul Ben Askren happened this past Saturday on Triller. Aside from the sideshows and the music and all the performances and all that, I'm okay with Jake Paul doing what he's doing. Now, one thing I don't like is him running his mouth. Go fight a real boxer before you proclaim yourself the future of boxing or the savior of boxing. That's all I have to say. Now, do I like Snoop Dogg being do I like Snoop Dogg being an announcer? I don't know. Al Bernstein was there and he was looking around, and Al Bernstein, if you know boxing, Al Bernstein's a historian of boxing. I've had the pleasure and opportunity and honor to interview the man and speak to him on a show that I did before, and to see him on that panel with not only that, Pete Davidson. These guys were high out of their mind, and they're talking about this fight, and I'm like, I can't believe this. Now, aside from the spectacle and the sideshow and the circus, which I think is horrible, I disagree with people that say that it's hurting boxing or taking away from boxing. If anything, it's bringing more eyes to the sport of boxing, and it's bringing eyes that have probably never even watched boxing before. 100%. So maybe someone now that's watching Jake Paul might end up watching, say, a Ryan Garcia or a Tank Davis or a Earl Spence or a Crawford or a Canelo, someone they've never seen before. So with me, Jake Paul, keep doing your thing, bro, but fight a real boxer if you want people to take you seriously, Rob.
I do think that it's a very slim amount of people that are going to start watching boxing, because what's his name?
Yeah, I think it was 1.5 million buys or views or something, like some crazy number. Yeah, ridiculous number.
And a lot of that is just based off of social media.
And Ben
followers.
Askren made $500,000, bro. He only made like I think 800,000 for his whole UFC.
They
career,
said that he was laughing after the fight or whatever.
He's always like
he
that,
just took.
bro.
Is that how he always is?
He's always a goofy guy.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I'm probably not going to watch another one until he fight someone like you said, that's in the boxing game. Excuse me, before he says all of that. I didn't even hear that he said all that. But I think it's more for entertainment, than it is for the sport. So
that's what it is, man. He's just an entertainer.
That's yeah. And
like, he came out of
outside
YouTube.
and inside the ring.
He
It's
came
more,
from Disney.
Oh,
He used to be on Disney.
Yeah, he was.
They showed a video of him.
Disney.
Watch
Really?
this, and he's all.
so that's what I'm
And
saying.
the
Like,
Disney thing just signs up. I'm like, oh my god.
so he's an
Yeah.
entertainer. So that's what it is. He's an
Yeah.
entertainer, and that's what he is out doing right now. But I agree
don't
with you.
know,
Like when it
man.
comes down to it, man, like get in the
I
ring
would
with a
never
real
pay
boxer.
for something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, me neither.
Ever.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't say I paid for
No,
it.
no. I'm not going to say. Of course,
I
obviously.
also didn't say I watched it illegally. Okay, so on Reddit.
But no, I would never pay for something like that.
I
So for
got
them
you.
to have that many buys is impressive.
They had real boxers on the
he
undercard too, though.
He comes from a very vast background. I mean, he was on Disney, but he was also, a YouTube star. And I mean, I've always had a problem.
You
with
kind of
Jake
look
Paul
like Jake
ever
Paul.
since.
I was about to
You
say
need
that,
a
bro.
haircut.
You look like one of the
Yeah.
Paul brothers.
No, I've always had a problem with the Paul brothers. Just their personality, it just doesn't fit well with
It's
me.
douchey.
It doesn't sit well. It's douchey, yeah.
I gotcha.
They have no regard for anybody. And if you look at the history with the mistakes they've made, that they've gotten away with too, it's some pretty bad
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's stuff that I don't agree with, and that's been on the news before with the whole suicide forest, everything like that. So I don't know, but I mean, I can understand the larger amount of buzz because it's all of his old, YouTube fans going like, "Oh my
his
God,
followers.
Jake Paul! We gotta buy the tickets for Jake Paul fight." But I don't know.
Rob.
Ugh.
It's safe to say he just broke his cherry tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
He
no.
just took off. I was just quiet. I'm like, let me just see how far he goes.
That's in his
He's never
wheelhouse.
talked
That's
about
why,
it.
you know
That's
what
in
I
his
mean? Like
wheelhouse.
he grew up with social media, whereas we kind of got, adapted just a little late. I still feel like I haven't fully adapted, but Yeah, he this is his, you know,
Hey,
this is
hey,
in
be
his
honest,
wheelhouse. So
Do they give you the time to do
let
it?
him go. Let him
Huh?
go, right?
Do they give
Let
you
him
the time
go.
to do it?
Yeah.
The leash
Do they
is
let
off.
you do this?
Yes,
Or-
they do.
all right,
They do.
all right.
They do. No.
But guys,
It's
Like,
very
hey,
nice.
hey, shh, no.
But guys, we have come to the end. We have 30 seconds. So I just want to know your response. Saturday, UFC 261, I believe it is. Masvidal, Usman 2. Who do you have? I have Masvidal.
Masvidal.
I don't know.
You have Masvidal. Who do you have?
Masvidal.
Yeah.
What? You're insane. That's my reaction.
Definitely
I
don't
got-
put money on that.
No,
And
absolutely.
there's
yeah.
3 title fights that night, by the way.
I got
So it's going to be a great card.
the Fabe Usman.
Name the other title fights.
Zhang, what the Chinese chick, what's her name? Versus
Racist
Namajunas.
as hell.
Bro, come on, man.
Zhang the Chinese
I don't know
chick.
her full name. What do you want from me?
Her name's not Zhang the Chinese chick.
I will tell
Okay,
you that
here.
is Jose in
You
a
wanna-
nutshell, though.
you wanna
Anytime,
like-
anytime I
Her
talk about a
name,
friend,
it's gonna
anytime
be
I talk
Zhang
about
That
a
was,
versus-
friend,
that was like a video game name.
It's Zhang versus Namajunas and Shevchenko versus Andrade.
Ooh.
how about
And Shevchenko and Masvidal are training with Gaethje.
It's Shevchenko versus Andrade.
Well, it says Andrade right there, but they probably
it's
pronounce it
Andrade.
differently. Okay,
She pronounces it.
how about a shout out to Gil with his fighter out there, right?
That's right.
He's plus 200.
bro.
I looked at the odds. He's got the odds are up.
Big shout out to Gil. I got a real quick one. I know we're already past our time.
And Zhang the Chinese chick. No,
He's back on it. He's like, I'll give you an extra. I'm giving you 5 because I'm on it.
I'm not.
Oh, no.
Speaking of which,
My mic's off already.
Gil met Masvidal today. He took a picture
Awesome.
with him. But here it is right here. Where'd it go? I just want to give okay. Kazoo Vargas. Kazoo Vargas is fighting in the prelims of the card on Saturday. Full pack jam arena in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. So big shout out to Gil Martinez and Kazoo Vargas. Best of luck. Get the W out there. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll have them in the studio soon. Chop it up with us as well. But Jaime, greatly appreciate you coming in, bringing
you,
my
brother.
shirts, bro,
Appreciate it.
hooking it up as well. Guys, check them out. Get the brand, get the clothing, support.
Appreciate you.
Zach, we got to get you some more clothes for next time, but appreciate
you,
you
Zach.
jumping in with
He's
us. as
watching
always.
Jake Paul videos on
Zach,
YouTube right
I'm
now.
gonna
Yeah,
get you a real shirt, bro. With
That's what we're going to do,
There
bro.
we go.
So next week, we're going to
Yeah,
have you
brother.
dress up and you're going to look like Jake
Yeah.
Paul and be our
Go
guest.
fund me.
Okay.
Do it, bro.
All right. Sounds good.
Go fund me,
All
Zach.
right, man. Anything else you want to say, Rob, before we go?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. Fights obviously this weekend, stuff like that. Yeah,
That's
that's
it?
all that's really going on. Wife's
it.
birthday's on Friday. Happy birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Happy anniversary to me and the wife. We hit 7 years yesterday. Love you. But till then, for Jose V, Rob G, Quan59, Jaime Flores tonight, and of course, Zach, the shirtless intern. We greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Till next Wednesday, we are out. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
Peace.